Hi, hello everybody. Welcome back again to our Psych 300W class. This week's lecture is going to actually be really brief because the vast majority of the information that you're going to be getting from this week's material comes probably from a somewhat unlikely source. Many of you, I'm guessing, have heard the name John Oliver, to be mistaken for the researcher Oliver John, who's a very prominent researcher and personality over at UC Berkeley. John Oliver is a comedian slash talk show host slash kind of guru of a lot of different topics, who I'm sure you're more familiar with based on his jokes that he's told over the years and his ties to science. But in this week's module, what we're going to be really stressing is the importance of dissecting information that we're going to be accumulating for our research in a very scientific manner. Many times when I assign big paper assignments for my classes or when people get started on their senior thesis projects, the questions that we often hear as instructors is, how many resources do I need? What's the minimum number that I'm required to have? Because lots of students honestly go into those assignments with the assumption that these research articles that you're looking for are sort of formalities. You just want to have something to link your ideas to, and there's no need for you to really find the best research on a topic or be able to understand how a lot of the things that relate to the interesting topic that you want to study have been addressed in the past. That's a big problem for people in research. And we want you to be really good consumers of not only your own data that you're collecting for your studies, but what's been done in the past, how people have studied the topics that you're interested in. One of the first big steps you have to take in order to accomplish this goal is to be better consumers of the information that's available. So when you're looking for resources to study on the topic that you're interested in, not only do you want to find a large number of resources available, but you also want to be able to sift through what's a good resource and what's just a so-so resource. You want to be able to understand the nuances to what you're reading when going over even good articles, and you want to be able to make your own interpretations of what the data is telling you. Now, some of this just requires lots of experience, a lot better understanding of statistics than maybe where you're at right now. But a lot of this also just involves making better sense of what's available and having a better understanding of what you need to do in order to ensure that what you're reading and what you're relying on is reliable. And again, one of the people that's going to help you with this process is the late night show host, John Oliver. For those of you that have not seen much from him in your past, you're going to encounter some really interesting stuff in this week's module. What I'd love for you to do specifically in this week's module is go to the website that I'm going to provide a link for on the class website. And on this website that you're going to get a link to, you'll see a whole bunch of things that relates to being a better consumer of information. You'll see little quizzes, examples of things, really neat stuff that, if you're willing to do it, I encourage you to dive into. But the one big thing that I want you to really focus your attention on first before working your way down is this video link that you see here. It's called Misunderstanding Scientific Studies with John Oliver. It's about a 15-20 minute clip. I thought this was more. Maybe it's only a 5-10 minute clip. I thought it was better. Anyway, it's a relatively short clip. It's not super long, but in it, it talks about the importance of being a better consumer of information. And then if you're done watching that video, I want you to kind of scroll down. Okay, this is where the extra time comes from. Sorry, I should have proofed this a little bit better. What I want you to do is scroll down and watch some other videos, read some other resources that cover the importance of being a really good consumer of the research that you're going to be reading or encountering as you progress through this class. You'll see, obviously, some stuff that's a little bit older. Daily Show host Jon Stewart was the host of the show actually over a decade ago now. But even if his show was over a decade old, there's some really important stuff found within these videos that I want you to familiarize yourself with. It's not going to necessarily teach you about all the statistical tools that you might need to understand as you're progressing or how to design your studies, but hopefully after watching these videos and thinking about some of this stuff through the activities that you're going to be doing, you're going to be a little bit better prepared to dive into those articles that hopefully you found in that lit review that you conducted last week. Again, if there are any questions along the way as you're progressing through this website, by all means, reach out. But for this week, instead of me being your primary instructor, I'm going to have some comedians be it for you. So good luck with this. Enjoy. And yeah, I wish you the best and look forward to speaking with you next week when we get into the next step in the research process. Take care, everybody.